everyone. I'm sending you a big high five, a big virtual high five wherever you are. I, as some of you know, have made a website called Voicing Desire, and I'm offering a webinar in just a couple of days on voicing desires. And so I wanted to make a video answering the question, like, why voice our desires? So this video is particularly for anyone who feels that desire is kind of a dirty word and that it's not good to have desires or voice them. For anyone who feels depressed or dull, or for anyone who is curious about living life to the fullest, this video is for you. So I sat back and thought about 4 main reasons why I think verbalizing desires, verbalizing what you want to the people that you're close to and to yourself many times is a fabulous thing to do. And the first reason is simply that our desires, they're there. They're there whether or not you voice them or not. And in my life experience, I found that in situations in which I didn't voice my desires, many times when I didn't voice them openly, many times I would unconsciously go about seeking to meet my desires, my needs and my wants in ways that were kind of manipulative of other people. And that can have some not so nice consequences. So I think we would be kidding ourselves when we say, oh, I don't need to be saying what I want because I can just care about other people and be selfless all the time. And many times that ends up blowing up with some sad and painful consequences. Number 2, desires, what we want, what we need. This is our life force. We need water, we need shelter, we need food, we need playtime, we need people in our lives, we need to laugh, we need to have fun. This is what makes human beings, this is what makes the human experience yummy and beautiful. And I say this to counteract what many times our culture, or at least here in the United States, in my particular culture of origin, I was conditioned to think that desires were questionable or sinful or bad. And in many cases, what we desire, even when it's an addictive substance, many times that's like our soul attempting to move us towards what is truly life-giving. You know, most people who are addicted to a substance, that's just a stopgap trying to fill a deeper desire or need. So the more we get conscious of what it is that we're actually wanting, and then giving ourselves permission to move towards that, can be a really liberating step that in the long run will free us from all of our addictions. So the third thing that I think why voicing our desires is a fantastic idea many times is that in the process of getting to know what you actually want and verbalizing it, that means that you have to be authentic with yourself, and then you're bringing your authentic self into your relationships with others. And without authenticity, it's hard to have true intimacy and that yummy feeling of being accepted and seen just as you are, not because you look a certain way or you said a certain thing. So voicing our desires brings us to authenticity, which brings us to intimacy with others, which is a lot of the meaning of life, where it feels yummy. And then 4th, so sometimes people say to me, well, okay, so I verbalized what I want, but what happens if I don't get what I want? Then, like, I've gone out on a limb, I've made myself vulnerable, and then, you know, the person that I wanted to date said no, or something like that. Or, you know, my partner, I tell them the truth that I really want to move 100 miles away out into the country, and they're like, I don't want to do that. So in those situations, what gives, right? Why should we still voice our desires? So it's important for me to say here that I don't think that in every situation that, you know, just being super honest and saying and stating what you want directly is always the best idea. Of course not, right? Tact, intuition, sensitivity, These are all really important. However, I would say even in the situations when we extend ourselves and we risk verbalizing vulnerably what it is that we want in a situation when we're speaking with somebody that we're close to, even if our desires don't get met, it provides us with a banquet of opportunities for rich life experience and growth. For example, if your partner says no, and if they are also willing and able to reflect within themselves and engage with you in this way, suddenly you have this whole playfield of negotiation, which is you can negotiate and talk about, okay, I'm not willing to do this, but I would be willing to do this. Maybe not move all the way out into the country, but I'd be willing to live in the outskirts, right? And in doing so, it can be this dance of loving yourself and loving the other person and finding how might we find a win-win situation here. And then also the other fabulous thing in this banquet that appears when you don't appear to get what you wanted, when you voice what you want, is that you get to experience maybe how attached are you to that particular want or desire. Can you relax that attachment and still find that you can experience happiness and satisfaction in other ways? Or maybe you'll just feel the wash of disappointment and allow yourself to observe yourself while you feel this emotion and feel what it feels like to be alive and to risk. Because what's the other option is to never go for what we want, to never bring ourselves fully into our relationships, to always think that what we actually want is bad and to ignore that they're there. That, in my experience, has not proven to be a very fun or loving way to be alive. So in summary, here are again the 4 reasons why I think that it's great to voice your desires. Number 1, they're there whether or not you voice them or not, so you might as well get conscious of where that furniture is and decide where you want it to be rather than tripping over it and unintentionally manipulating other people in your life and unconsciously attempting to get your needs and wants met. 2, desires are our life force. They're not necessarily bad. And the more that we get in touch with what we want and get conscious about verbalizing it, the less that we will probably act out in destructive and addictive ways in our relationships and in our lives with substances. 3, knowing and speaking our desires is the path to authenticity and authentic expression in intimacy. And intimacy is so life-giving. That's part of why being human feels so good, is to be seen, to be heard, to be accepted by other people that we're close with. And finally, even if you voice your desire and you don't get it met, you still could negotiate, you can still feel all your emotions, you can soften your attachments, you can learn and grow from that experience. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a fabulous rest of your day.